All right, another one. This is Alvin.
And this is Parapants.
We watched another cartoon.
What was the name of this one?
Sora, yori, Tooi Basho.
Yeah, we didn't butcher that name.
No, I think I did. I think my Japanese is pretty good. I think I'd survive pretty well over there.
Okay. All right, Gaijin.
Yeah. It's a place further than the universe, a story that leads to Antarctica. How do we start this off? You know what? I came to the.
There aren't enough anime shows about Antarctica. That's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah. Well, I was thinking at the end of this, I was like, the Japanese can romanticize anything. It's just by the end of it, you're like, oh, my childhood. Oh,
yeah. They're gonna come up with an anime about Ebola.
Oh no. Well, what was I thinking? I think. You could tell towards the with the intro, it's like one of those 4-girl animes where you get 4 archetypes and they have slice of life stuff. But I don't usually watch those. I do like that we didn't get hit with all 4 girls at once. We kind of saw. Wait,
is there nowhere these 4 generic anime girl tropes can go?
I don't know. Well, I wouldn't call these 4 girls generic.
Well, not generic, just I guess common, archetypal.
I don't think they're really. I don't see them as conforming to. Let me just outline real quick. The 4 girls. The best friend, the main character, first of all, who is having a midlife crisis at the age of 15. Her other friend, or her best friend at school, who thinks she's being ridiculous and just go get it over with, but she's not mean about it. This other chick who has a dream to go to Antarctica, and some chick that works in a fast food convenience store that hasn't said anything yet. I think those are the 4 chicks.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So they're not generic, but it just seems to me the main character I've kind of seen that character before. The really kind of, ganky kind of girl. Nothing.
But she's not ganky though, because she's not down for whatever. She tried and failed.
Well, no, yes, she is. She is reluctant, but her that kind of high-spiritedness is kind of something I've seen a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, she does have a very common kind of like good attitude, but I think people expect kind of a good attitude out of their main character, or a bad attitude. They want you to be one or the. I think she had to be something. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But
fair enough.
I was thinking because I'm like, by the end, I always want to think like, would I watch this? I think if I put myself, if I was living the neat life, where I really didn't worry about the clock ticking and what do you call that? What do you call that? Being conscious of the fact that you're gonna die someday. What is that?
I call that Alvin.
Well, I'm not young and ignorant anymore. It's like what I'm trying to say is.
Well, you're just jaded.
No, it's like when you aren't fully aware of your mortality, then you can spend all day watching a cartoon about a little girl that wants to go to Antarctica, and not feel bad about it. So.
Yeah, but that's not what. Okay, all right. You can say like the animes are just there to draw on viewers and sell merchandise to people through advertising. But I genuinely think that the spirit of this anime is to inspire the viewer to go out and seize the day and claim their youth, not just live vicariously through these fictional people.
You think? Because when I see 4 animes with 4 girls with different attitudes, I think of the dude with the figurines who collects every episode, and I think of that dude, and it's like, I guess if
Where does your image of that dude come from? From an anime?
Yeah, probably. I don't know any Japanese people. All I'm saying is I asked myself, would I watch this? And because it's not bad, it looks great, and the characters don't annoy me, and it's just a plain show about a dream, but it's like
I can really get on board with the spirit of this show, because it's it's about going out there and trying new things, and even if it's scary, and even if people tell you're gonna fail, you just got to go out there and do it. So I like that, but I feel that it was kind of rushed.
Rushed.
Well, no, I felt like I know that the main character was hesitant to go out there and kind of live out like this great journey she wanted to have. She had these goals, these ambitions she wrote down of the things she wanted to accomplish by the time she reached high school, and she wasn't getting them, and she wants to go out there and claim these goals, but she gets scared and she turns back, which is very normal.
No.
But,
Go ahead.
but yeah, but I felt like we we didn't get to stay with her long enough in that sort of trapped feeling to to feel that like when she finally did commit a little bit, like I felt like I was elated for her, like, oh wow, she's gonna go on this great adventure. I mean, it just happened so quickly. She meets a girl who says, hey, I worked up all this money so I can go to Antarctica and I'm gonna do it. And she's like, well by gum, I'm gonna do that too. So
All right, good.
yeah, so I just feel like it just happened so fast that I'm like, okay, well I guess they're going to do this, great. But I just didn't relate to this kind of sense of adventure.
All right. Well, I'm going to disagree.
All right.
I think the pacing was fine. I think what we got to see of the character, like, I feel like you were saying, like, oh, we want to see her a little more miserable and secluded, so we would be happier for her when she did decide to make the decision. But
not necessarily miserable, but I wanted there to be this other side that said there were very good reasons not to do it.
well, she
Not
said
just
the train might crash.
no, like not just because you're afraid, but because the comforts, the trappings of home and the familiar are very seductive. And I kind of wanted to see her struggle with that a little bit more. I just didn't feel like she struggled enough.
She's only 14.
Well, she's also going to freaking Antarctica. How many 14-year-olds do that?
Apparently 4. All right. Well, we didn't even do our
Oh yeah, and
play
how
by
many
play.
14-year-olds work in a convenience store? Are they 14 or 15? How old are these
I'm
girls?
assuming second years in high school. I don't know. I'm assuming 14.
She's a second year in high school? I thought she
think
was
so.
already in high. I thought she was going to high school.
No, because she found that book. I think she wrote the book earlier, and that's why she was so upset.
Oh.
Because she's like, oh yeah, I wrote down these goals, and I'm already a second year, and I didn't do anything.
Oh, well, she's probably around 17, 16.
What? Really?
16 in high school?
When do you graduate? It's been so long.
Well, over here we graduate at 18 on average.
So she might be 16.
She might be, yeah, 16. Because I don't know when they start high school, but I think their high school is only 3 years.
Mm.
So, they might start high school at 16. So she could be,
Yet another question easily solved by a Google search.
Yes, which we won't do because our fingers are tired.
Yeah, I'm holding the mic in my notes. But yeah, so I went through this whole show assuming that this chick was 14. That's why it seemed a little strange that she was so worried about accomplishing something at such a young age. Just gonna pause for a second until Parapants comes back from the kitchen. Hey, you having fun in there?
Keep going.
Oh my God, you're pouring water? I can't do this by myself. All right, I'm gonna do this by myself. There you are. All right, so yeah, we talked about most of what happens in the beginning. She tries to skip school once and kind of fails, and her friend's like, "Oh, you." And at what point is she on her way home from school when she gets the $1,000,000 yen? Is that how that works?
Maybe.
I don't remember. She finds $1,000,000 yen, and this chick is like, "Hey, I'm doing it now." She's going to catch a train. You already know this if you saw the episode, but like, somebody runs past her and drops a package. Package has $1,000,000 yen in it. She freaks out, and next day tells her friend, and eventually she finds the girl that needs the yen, or that dropped the yen. And the girl's like, "Thank you very much. I'm going to use this to get to Antarctica and
Find my mom."
And find my mom, who may be lost in Antarctica. and they get to talking. And this girl's like, I've decided I'm gonna support you. And this chick's like, what? You're gonna come with me? And she's like, yes. And that's it. I'm gonna look at my notes. Skip school. Oh, one of the things she wanted to go in the opposite direction of home from school, or the opposite direction from school. That was her plan when she was gonna play hooky once and failed.
Wait. That was her adventure, little mini adventure. Her do something different for the day was to go in the opposite direction home or something.
No, she was, instead of going to school, she's like, I'm just gonna go in the opposite direction as everyone else and have an adventure.
Oh, she was gonna go to Tokyo.
Yeah, and I wrote that down because I remember once when I was in grade school, I was leaving school and I decided to go the opposite direction for absolutely no reason, and I got horribly lost. And this was in a place where it gets dark very early, and I was really
Alaska.
yes.
You were near.
Yeah, so I was just walking in the snow. I was crying. My parents called the police.
Hey, how old were you?
Oh God, I was. It was before junior high. It was grade school.
This sounds like a really dumb anime. I wouldn't watch this.
You wouldn't watch an anime about me getting lost going home from school?
No.
I got dreams too. Damn it. Well,
I went in the opposite direction a lot.
It was
school.
dark. You know what? The only reason I was able to make it home is that there was a church with this really weird light on the top, and I saw that from like several blocks away. So Jesus saved my life that night.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here doing this show.
Yeah, that's sad that you got.
Did you ever get lost?
No.
You never got lost.
Mm-mm. I knew where I was going.
It's like somebody's due for a midlife crisis.
Like I remember, I can relate to that sense of wanting to go on an adventure when I was young. When I was
high
15.
school?
Yeah, when I was 15, I
That
was
must be a chick thing. Go ahead.
yeah, it's a chick thing. Yeah, when I was 15, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on a bus, and actually, I ran away from home when I was 12.
Oh, how far did you make it?
I think I made it over to the next county, maybe.
Like a mile or two?
I didn't get very far. I luckily, I was smart enough to go to the home of a friend. Oh God, this was terrible. I went to the home of a friend who had died like a month earlier.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. Like it was a kid in grade school. We were in the same class and he had drowned, and I went to his funeral and met his family, and then like a month after that I kind of got into it with my parents and I ran away. And I was like, I don't know where I'm going. Oh, these people, I remember where they lived. So on top of losing their child, they had like this wayward kid from out of nowhere. It's like, please take me in.
Oh.
Which was yeah, like they really needed that. So
well, I mean, they had the room. Maybe they were just like, whatever. Did they give you like sandwiches and shit?
Oh, they were really nice, but they did not want to deal with this shit.
Well,
they called my dad and stuff. And
hold on. Did you say you were running away?
I was like, well, I didn't have any shoes on at the time. So.
Oh my God. Wait, you were barefoot?
Yeah, I was barefoot.
Did you have a bike?
No, I had no money.
You just walked.
I just kind of walked. I jumped the back fence of our house and just went walking. I was like, screw this.
All right. Well, I don't want to get too far from the anime. But why don't we
I wasn't going to Antarctica, and I sure didn't have $8,000 on me.
Yeah, that's another thing. The refrigerator's beeping. You got to close the door.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I thought I didn't do the calculation right when she said 1,000,000 yen. For some reason, I thought this chick earned $100,000, or she might have inherited it or something. But then we did the calculations afterwards, and it turns out 1,000,000 yen is $8,850, and I don't know if that's going to get you to Antarctica. I mean, maybe.
No, I mean, like, how much?
Maybe
how much could it possibly cost? Nobody lives there.
No, maybe she's thinking I only need a one-way trip because my mom's there, and she'll pay for me to come back.
And then my mom will drive me back.
Yeah, my mom will drive me back on her boat. But anything else? I kind of got the feeling that this whole feeling of having not accomplished anything by the second year of high school. I mean, I'm like, where would you get that feeling, like that deficiency in your life? And it's like,
yeah, what
well,
kid feels
the kids
that?
who watch shows like this. It's a vicious cycle. You watch these animes where the characters are like, I'm 16 and I haven't done anything with my life.
I mean, like school at that age, like it seems like your life is so complicated as it is.
Hey, you know what? If she's got this feeling, she's not studying hard enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, don't you have exams? Don't you have like college to think about? Don't you have like, relationships to pursue and club activities and stuff? Like, why are you thinking like I need to go out there and grab the bull by the horns? I mean,
Yeah.
like your bull hasn't even grown up yet. It's still a calf.
And she's like, oh, I want to experience new things. It's like, you're 16. Everything is new to you.
Everything I know. You don't even know how to drive.
Yeah. But, yeah, I thought, well, I mean, I'm just assuming this was like some popular light novel or something, and people are like, oh, yes, this is great. I don't know.
It does have that kind of light novel stench to it.
that light novel smell. But no, it doesn't have that light novel stench. That light novel stench is when people just show up and do things, and there's no justification, and it just goes from scene to scene, and characters who know each other talk to each other like old friends, and you're like, wait,
No.
who the fuck is that?
No, the light novel stench to me is just when there's no depth to the motivations. They just kind of happen. They just kind of fall into place.
There's depth here.
I,
The girl
I'm
worked
just not
hard for
feeling
that money.
I didn't see her working hard. I saw one instance where she was making change.
Hey,
Like, I think it would have been more interesting from her perspective, actually, as the girl who wanted to find her mom, and everybody's telling her, no, you can't do it, you're stupid, you're too young. Like, that to me would have been like a stronger story to tell.
so once again, you wanted to see more suffering.
Why do you have to word it that way?
Because that's the way it is.
Okay, whatever, Mr. Lost in the Woods.
Whatever. It was in the woods, and Jesus got me home. So there. What you're doing now is you're basically taking the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah. They're going in to find a mom. This chick carries this $1,000,000 around everywhere, which is not. I don't think that's a good idea. I think she should put it in a bank. But I guess it's going to be like something she'll be able to whip out at a moment's notice. But
Yeah, that is like a not safe place to have.
she almost
money.
gets bullied by two very frail-looking girls. I'm like, look, if I got $9,000 and you're not a fucking MMA champion and you want my money, I mean, I'm gonna bleed for this fucking money.
Like, does that work in Japan? You're like, hey, what? Give me your money. Like,
Yeah.
oh no,
No,
I'm
she
being
said,
bullied.
why don't you let us borrow some?
Oh yes, it was a very polite way of bullying.
Yeah, like at least smack her around a little
It's like,
bit.
hey, we hear you got money. Yeah, so can we have some?
When's the first time you had $9,000?
Oh man, I remember like it was yesterday. I was
What?
like 16, working at the 7-Eleven.
God damn it! Don't fucking worm your way into this
And
anime.
these girls hang around my bike, asked me for my money, and I took my foot so deep up their ass.
Well,
They paid me to take it out.
actually, I don't think. I mean, I've had that amount, but it was like student loan money, so it doesn't count. Like,
Oh no, of course that doesn't count. That girl worked for that money.
all right, well, I'm trying to think. Like the first time I actually had that much money, shamefully late in my life. But yeah, if somebody came up to me and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna take that money," I mean, one of us would have had to have died.
Like I'm thinking like when you're that age and you're working like every day at the 7-Eleven and you're 16, you finally work up to nearly $9,000 with this intent to go find your mom, and you look down and you think to yourself, hey, I've got $9,000. I could do so many more fun things with this than go to Antarctica. and look for my
Oh,
mom.
well, you obviously don't love your mother like this character does.
Oh, I found my mother. I
Yeah.
wish she'd get lost in
Oh.
Antarctica.
That's messed up. I know you don't mean that. Oh,
I mean,
that's,
yeah, but $9,000. What can a 16-year-old do with that?
like when I was 16, if I had
Well,
nine
put it
grand,
away for college.
oh, jeez. Well, my parents would make me do something with them. My parents would take it because,
Wait, money that you worked for?
yeah. Well, they wouldn't take it and like go party or anything. We had bills. I went to an expensive school. It would probably go to clothes, books, food.
Wait, money that you earned,
Yeah.
they would take it and spend it.
I had part-time jobs in high school. No, they wouldn't spend it on themselves.
No, I mean even spend it on you.
Yes.
What they would take the money that you worked for
Yes.
and say you need more books and clothes, so we're going to take your money.
I didn't even ask where it went.
You just handed it over to them.
What the fuck what else am I gonna do?
Did you skin any off the top for yourself?
Barely a little, not much. I mean, I was so busy.
God,
I didn't.
you are dumb.
I'm sorry, I didn't. Nobody taught me to hustle. I went out and I worked, and I just gave them the money. I mean, I didn't really need anything.
Yeah, I tell my mother every day, like, I didn't make much today, Mom. Sorry.
See, that's messed up. That corrodes your soul, lying to your parents like that.
That vampire would have sucked so many bills out of my wallet.
That's another. I mean, I just remember like when she tried to run away from home. Or no, not run away from home. She tried to spend a day in Tokyo, and her mom's like, "That's a big bag," and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just borrowed someone's gym clothes," and no, I'm like, well, she was supposed to be so timid and like, but she just lied to her mom.
She just straight up lied. That's what I'm saying. It was too much of a character change.
I'm like, I was messed up. I thought you were like a good girl that didn't do nothing, but anyway, I want to get back to this $9,000.
That's exactly what my point was.
You know what I would do if I had $9,000 at 16?
Probably give it to your parents.
All right. Besides that,
Dumbass.
God damn it, if I had different parents or something, I'd probably get a car.
You get a car?
Yeah, I'd get a shitty car. What else can you do with $9,000 when you're 16?
Wow, you'd get a car.
What would you do?
Huh?
What would you do with $9,000? Brewster's Millions. You had to get rid of it.
Oh man, buy some coke maybe.
Like cocaine? What the fuck are you gonna do with cocaine?
Snort it.
That's so dumb.
Sell it for even more.
All right. Well, other than
probably, no. If I had money, I'd probably buy property.
can you get property for $9,000?
It'd probably be really bad property.
No, that would serve as like a down payment.
Okay. I thought you said if I had Brewster's Millions.
No, I was Brewster's Millions rules.
Wait. I have $9,000 and I have to spend it.
Yes.
Oh, I'd probably buy like a couple of stocks.
You have to spend it, or your parents will take it away.
Buy clothes. I would buy some stocks.
You would buy fucking stocks.
Yeah.
16-year-old Parapants would know how to buy
That's
stocks.
the best time to do some investing when you're young.
No.
You can afford to lose.
I'm not saying that you now going back in time.
No. Me at that time, I would buy some stocks.
You wanted to buy stocks back then and
Yeah.
you couldn't.
Yeah, and I couldn't.
What would you buy stock in?
Not
knowing what you know
Apple.
now.
I
I would have bought stock in Nintendo.
You'd buy. Oh, that'd be some good.
No,
stock.
just because I played Nintendo and that's all I know. That would have been a good stock to buy.
Actually, would have been a good stock.
Actually, I probably would have bought Sega. That would have sucked.
Oh yeah.
But all right, well, yeah, I guess that's about it. Another one thing that Parapants brought up during the credits, it really did feel like that was like the whole show. Like we didn't need to watch anymore. Like I could do without the actual adventure. It just seems like we got the best part of it in this episode. So I don't feel bad about not watching the rest of it.
Now I don't get that I have to see what happens next feeling, and it's probably like, what is this, like a slice of life kind of deal?
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a very kind of like relaxing, gentle, show to watch, to have something on in the background while you're frying up some ribs or something.
I was trying to tell you, if I was all about that neat life, then I'd probably watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, just
cute.
imagine.
No. If I were neat, this show would make me feel kind of guilty.
No, if you're neat, you don't feel guilty. That's the whole thing.
Why the hell would I watch a show like that?
Because because it looks nice and it's anime, and you're all about that anime.
Wait. You mean you're trying to say that neets don't feel guilty over their situation?
I didn't think they did. I thought they just immersed themselves
No,
into the whole I watch anime and don't go outside
I
lifestyle.
don't think that's necessarily a lifestyle by choice. I think, circumstances kind of find them there.
Well, I think the circumstances is they don't want to talk to people and they just want to watch cartoons.
I don't know. I think if I were in that sort of kind of circumstance, I'd feel like, oh, well, I can't go out there and, just do whatever that chick is doing.
But you'd want to watch cute girls having adventures. And you'd want to watch something that just kind of puts you in that mood, just like, that Sunday afternoon watching TV mood.
Is it foolish to feel inspired by an anime?
No.
Because, I don't know.
What, you find this inspiring?
Kind of. It's kind of inspiring, but it would be a little bit more inspiring if it was kind of more realistic about the circumstances in which people find themselves, that they can't just go out and do things that they want to do.
You mean if there was more suffering?
No, okay. Like if this show had, and I know it's, I want to see. I don't really want to see high school kids asking themselves, why aren't I doing more with my life? Because that seems kind of ridiculous. If this were about like a 50-year-old person who had worked their entire lives at the same job, supporting their families day in, day out for like 20, 30 years and did nothing. And that's what they were expected to do by everybody. And then they were like, hey, I'm going to go out. See, I think that has way more punch to it. Like you take like a salary man who's done the same thing with his life for decades, and he decides, I'm going to go to Antarctica. And like his wife is laughing at him, his kids are laughing at him, and come on, tell me that would not.
No, that'd be good. It's almost the plot of Inuyashiki. Everybody
Which
laughs.
I gotta watch.
Yeah, I gotta watch more of that too. That looks like a good ass show.
Like
we should have watched that instead.
Yeah, I know.
But we have a show to do that nobody should listen to.
Exactly.
All right, I got nothing else to say about this. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, like I said, if I wasn't painfully aware of my impending death, then I would probably enjoy watching it because.
We should go to Antarctica, babe.
I don't have $9,000. I do have $9,000 now.
Let's spend it.
Let's buy some stock.
Let's buy some stock.
Let's buy stock in anime. All right, I'm gonna stop it.